Coming up on TekThing, is it safe to build a new PC or should you wait? Real surround sound on the cheap VPN trouble in the cafe, more shortcuts, and hey, new shoes! It's all coming up on TekThing. If you get something useful out of this episode of TekThing, please consider contributing to the show at patreon.com/TekThing. We're brought to you by viewers just like you. Thank you.
I'm Shannon Morse.
And I'm Patrick Norton.
And this is TekThing, where we have something useful in every single show.
That is our goal, people.
Wow, that's new.
Yes.
I like it.
Sometimes you just change things. Sometimes you just go for it.
All right, I have to say that it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, at least when it comes to building PCs.
It's been if you're building a regular PC, go for it. Great article. Props to the crew at PC Per for the heads up on this. Digitimes says you can pretty much go ahead and build a new PC. There are no new CPUs coming until 2017 CES next January from AMD or Intel. AMD Zen is having trouble spinning up to the 14 nanometer process, if I'm reading that correctly. And that gives Intel very little motivation to actually fire out Kaby Lake.
Kaby Lake?
Kaby Lake!
Ah, so those are the new ones.
Well, you got
eventually.
And Skylake. Those CPUs are in the pipeline. Vendors are still trying to sell those off, and it's taking time.
Yeah.
Kaby Lake's only supposed to be a minor upgrade, so Intel can just be like,
So they're going to take a nap and wait until they have some competition before they come out with a different CPU. So right now is a good time to build a PC.
Yeah. CPU prices should be really steady.
Okay.
We just need GPU prices to settle.
Yeah, so how are GPU prices going right now?
GPU prices are a hot mess right now. So here's the thing: if you're a gamer, or you're into VR and you need a serious 3D GPU, wait. Wait for everything. First of all, wait for AMD to launch their RX 480 and 470. AMD's been teasing the new Radeon RX 480 for weeks.
Yes.
It's either going to be $229 or $200. Last week at E3, they revealed the entire RX lineup, which includes the RX 470 and 460, which are expected to cost less than the $200 we expect to see the RX 480 show at. And take a look at this. Oh my goodness. What's that? This is a sub $200 graphics card that is right in the neighborhood of an R9 290, a GTX.
The GTX Titan and the 970.
And the 970. So, and this is the crew at Guru 3D found this. We don't know a lot about these benchmarks. We don't know a lot about these GPUs because AMD's not talking about them. But basically, we're talking about what could be an utterly ridiculous GPU. Sub $200. For 970 level performance.
That's really inexpensive.
Yeah.
I feel like I should upgrade my machine.
Yeah, well here's the problem.
Or maybe I should wait.
You should wait. Because we really need to see real world open testing on these new AMD parts.
True.
Because basically AMD's like RX 480, VR gaming, $220, $200 on the street, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Nvidia's dropped the GTX 1080 and 1070, which aren't shipping in volume. For two reasons. One, Nvidia is doing a more expensive Founder Edition first, and which is just like basically the same performance, but more expensive, and you get it earlier. But the $699 GTX 1080 Founder Edition, check this out, kids, is selling for like, oh, look at that. Is that $880?
Whoa!
Right, because supply is short.
I could totes pay for that.
Yeah, except if that's like a $700 GPU. The regular GTX 1080 should sell for $599. The new sweet spot, at least until we see what the deal is with the RX 480, is the GTX 1070. There's going to be a $449 Founders Edition, which is currently selling online for close to $600, $650. The GTX 1070 is supposed to be priced at $379.
That's more reasonable.
That's more reasonable, except that it's sold out too. But hey, because supply is short, but if you want to pay like $80 over the retail, the MSRP for that, you can pre-order it and pay $450 and get it in 4 weeks, or $650 and get it now.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Look at those price hikes. I mean, go figure, it's supply and demand, but man.
Yeah, and this has happened. We don't know if it's yield issues. We don't know if it's parts availability. But if you wait for that $379 1070, we're talking about better than Titan X or 980 Ti performance before you overclock it. It's got 15% more cores, 50% higher clock speed. new geometry processing block, asynchronous compute improvements for scheduling and preemption, simultaneous multi-projection to improve VR performance and fix surround gaming fisheye effects. SLI got faster, but SLI is basically now for 2 cards. They're basically like, just give up on 3 or 4 card SLI. GPU Boost 3.0 has some new overclocking capability for voltage curves. Basically, though, it's like a 50% higher clock speed and more cores and better performance. For $379, this card will be a badass when it actually is available for $379.
And that one will be able to do some fun stuff like HDR, right?
Yeah, there's all sorts of awesomeness coming. Mostly, this is going to be, so this is the Founders Edition for $449.
Okay.
So what's frustrating is because there are no 1070 and 1080 cards, so they're selling for ridiculous amounts. There's no motivation to drop 970 and 980 prices.
Oh, what a bummer.
Yeah, you don't want to spend $300 or $350 on a 970 if AMD gets aggressive and delivers 970 performance for under $200 with their RX 470.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
There's one thing I can tell you to buy right now.
Okay, what's that?
Well, the Crucial MX 300, 750 gigabyte SATA. Drive for $199.
Oh, wow.
So it's not as big as a 1 terabyte SATA drive, but it is about 50% less than the typical $300 for a 1 terabyte SATA drive.
That's a pretty good price.
By the way, if you're thinking about buying a 950, you might want to wait because Alan over at PC Per says the SM961, 960 Pro, and 960 EVO SSDs are on their way.
Oh, man.
Which means prices will change on the 850 EVOs, which is like the recommended board.
I feel like I should build a new computer with like all these wonderful, beautiful, different pieces coming down in price, except for the GPUs.
Don't you have you've got a 970 right now?
I think so. I'll have to check. But I'm pretty sure I do.
I would say wait until next year. You're good to go until next year unless you start doing VR stuff and you want better VR performance. But
yeah. I think my big thing right now is upgrading so that I can do more video rendering from home. I think that'll be my next big upgrade, especially since I'm getting more into editing and stuff like that. Well, so video rendering, that'll require an i7, I think.
Have you overclocked your processor yet?
No, but I'm on an i5. So
I will say, video rendering, you can never throw enough processor at it.
Yeah, seriously. Never. Well, let us know what you guys think. Of course, you can always email us, feedback@hack5.org. Not feedback.
How about
ask@TekThing.com. I always do that, man, like every single episode. That's okay, though. Yes, email us, ask@TekThing.com. Let us know what your builds are going to be this year as well. I'm really interested to hear what you guys are planning to do with your PCs. 3 questions answered, 3 reviews, 3 picks, all in 3 minutes, and this week's Rapid Fire Roundup is from Benjamin, who writes, I have started to become an HD snob, ripping Blu-rays and making sure to have 5.1 sound. Currently, I don't have surround sound, but I'm looking into setting it up. The issue is my budget is not very big, so I need assistance getting the best bang for the buck. My budget is $350 to $400 for speakers and a receiver. Any suggestions would be fantastic. Thank you, from Benjamin in Sanford, North Carolina. Are you ready?
Ready.
Go!
Okay, first up, perfect timing. Robert Heron and I were talking about this in AVXL last week. The downside is unless you're buying used gear, there is no way you are getting a receiver and surround sound speakers for $350.
Yeah.
But check out Vizio's SB4051-CO. It's a 40-inch, 4.1 channel surround sound bar, basically sound bar, wireless subwoofer, wired rear channels. The soundbar goes on your television.
Cool.
When you have like almost 5,000 reviews and at 4.5 stars, people are pretty enthusiastic about your product.
It's pretty satisfactory.
That's a thumbs up. $350, and if you're like me and you enjoy the refurbished lifestyle, you can pick it up for $210.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sold by Woot, fulfilled by Amazon. So that is about as cheap as you get.
Okay.
That is an amazing deal for the money. The Wirecutter loves this system. You are not good, especially the refurbished version. My projector is refurbished, and I think it's now 8 years old, 7 years old.
Okay.
And it's still going. So you can get burned on refurbished, but I have not yet to get burned on refurbished. So what I'm saying is, if you want to spend the least amount of money, spend $210, buy the refurbished version of that.
On Woot.
If you don't have $300 and you want better audio, check out this. This is Robert bought these for his mother. This is not surround sound, but it's a 2.1 sound bar with a wireless subwoofer. So again, this is unwired. This is down by the base of your TV. It's $150. It will pretty much spank the speakers that came in your TV. It doesn't have the super awesome rear channels for full surround, but it's going to be a big, healthy improvement over the speakers that are inside of your television.
That's something like what I have at home, but mine I think is a Sony. But yeah, we just have the bar and then the subwoofer, and it's really great. So it sounds really, really good.
It's amazing. You can spend hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Yes, you can.
You can on a sound bar. And if you want to get over the top with surround sound speakers and AVRs, you can pretty much spend as much as you want to spend. Something a little aspirational for you, Benjamin.
Number 3?
Number 3.
All right.
Number 3. When you have closer to $1,000 to spend, then it's time to get a dedicated AVR and speakers. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Denon's AVRS 710W. It's 4K Ultra HD ready. It's got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, excellent audio performance, and sells for $479. Sadly, Pioneer's SPPK22BS, the Andrew Jones design 5.1 home theater speaker system, which was a sick deal for $500, is no longer available.
Aww.
So check out the ever so popular. This is the classic entry level surround sound speakers. This is the Energy 5.1 Take Classic home theater system. These sell for like, let me double check this. Yeah, $384 for the money. Bad. You're not going to get a better speaker than those. That is about as cheap as you can get. If you have no money,
and they're good.
They're good.
Okay.
They're shockingly good for the money. You can get like a set of sub $200 speakers for monoprice that aren't bad, which might be a way to go. If you're like, I don't want to get that Vizio soundbar thing, then keep an eye out for an AVR that will deal with Blu-ray or your Blu-ray 5.1 rips. And buy that, and then buy like the super cheap monoprice speakers for like $180.
Cool.
But I would go with the Vizio for now, and then when you have more money, then start buying separate components.
Now I kind of want one of those too. So I'm gonna build a new computer, and I'm gonna upgrade my surround sound in my house.
Return to Japan. Better surround sound system in a gaming machine.
Here we go.
This is a life choice. What do you pick, people?
Pay off the credit card. There we go.
Oh my goodness. Email ask@TekThing.com. Yeah, pay off your credit cards, Benjamin, before you start buying this stuff.
Thank you, Benjamin.
Yeah, good stuff. Keep sending your questions in, and also, of course, at TekThing on the Twitters or Facebook.com/TekThing.
Real quick, we just want to thank everybody who contributes to the show at patreon.com/TekThing. You make it possible for Patrick and I to bring you the show week after week. And of course, all patrons get access to our patron-only builds, and we are going nuts on a MAME arcade cabinet in June and July. I'm super stoked about this. I've never built one before, so this is going to be really fun. And of course, contributing at higher levels gets your name on the website, you get your name in the credits, and you even get to do a monthly hangout with Patrick and I. That's actually really fun. We just chill and talk about whatever comes up. And please keep on sending us your questions, your tips. Thank you so much for supporting the show, no matter how you do it. And again, that's over at patreon.com/TekThing. Thank you to each and every one of you for supporting the show. We got a question on YouTube from MuayThaiBeatdown.
I love that name.
That's a fun name. I signed up for a VPN service a few months ago, and it works great in the house, but in some public Wi-Fi areas, I cannot get connected via the VPN. I'm using Open VPN TCP as the protocol. Any ideas?
Oh man, so VPN might be blocked by the router in your public Wi-Fi or by the ISP. My first thought was trying for some reason I can't say an alternate port if the service provides it, but Darren was schooling us on
yes, protocols.
Protocols.
Yeah, so your VPN service provider might offer a different protocol. Look and see if they have IPsec or PPTP as different options. If you switch to those, they might not necessarily be blocked by that open Wi-Fi.
Right, but OpenVPN should offer SSL VPN configuration, which makes everything look like it's web traffic, which is so sneaky.
Like HTTP?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's really cool.
Or HTTPS, I would guess.
I need to try that. That sounds really fun. And our second comment is from Nathan Knight 4, who wrote Control-Shift-T?
And that's all he wrote.
That's all he said.
That's the Chrome shortcut to open close tabs. And a lot of folks were like, this isn't new.
Control-Shift-T. Oh.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. A lot of folks, they basically just said, that's not new. Just because it's not new doesn't mean that, everybody already knows about it. There's a lot of keyboard shortcuts that I don't know about. I just learned one, which was Control-Shift-N, I think it was, for new incognito window.
My goodness.
It works?
Have you ever gone to the Chrome keyboard shortcuts page
No.
on Google? So, it looks really reasonable, right? It's just,
yeah.
Windows, Linux, Mac, it all seems so simple. There is so much here to learn. Control-N, obviously. Everyone knows that. Open up a new window. Control-Shift-N, you just did that. Window in an incognito mode. Jump to the next open tab, jump to a specific tab. Control-1 through Control-8, jump to the last tab. Control+9. Wait. There's like opening things in the browser.
Good luck memorizing all of those. Come back to us when you do.
Just because I've forgotten my children's name.
So what about turning off Flash? Because that's a thing, right?
Yeah. So Flash, like every Patch Tuesday comes around.
Yeah.
And it's like Adobe finds something else utterly reprehensible inside of Flash.
Course.
So do me a favor, go to Chrome. Go open up your Chrome browser, Chrome plugins, and scroll down to here. And turn this off. Basically, if this says disable under Adobe Flash Player, click disable. So
is mine disabled?
That's turned on, and that's turned off. And that will basically block all Flash from inside of your Chrome browser. In fact, the only thing it still has Flash running on it is Mozilla, which I rarely use. So if I run into something it won't play because it needs Flash, then I fire up Mozilla and do it there.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yes.
Always turn off Flash.
Die, Flash, die. Got an email from Jason. He writes in, Patrick and Shannon, there is a place I travel to for work 2-3 times a year for one night at a time. The place I stay is dorms with Ethernet connections provided in the rooms, but there is no Wi-Fi in the dorms. It's a state building, so I don't expect to change anytime soon. I was wondering if it's possible to turn my Raspberry Pi 1 Model B Plus into a Wi-Fi hotspot so I don't have to use my mobile data plan, or is some type of travel router the only way to go? Thanks. Keep up the good work. Jason in South Dakota.
I love this question. And now that I have discovered this is a thing, I want to bake one myself. So it turns out that you can use a Raspberry Pi as an access point or a Wi-Fi access point. And luckily, Adafruit has a tutorial on their website. So if you go over to my computer right here, yes, this is for the B+. In fact, it is. So luckily, the only things that this does require is a little bit of command line foo, which you probably already know if you've worked with the Raspberry Pi before. And it also requires a Wi-Fi dongle plugged into the Raspberry Pi as a Wi-Fi module. Now, luckily, Adafruit also does sell, and they have links to a whole bunch of different Wi-Fi modules that work with the Raspberry Pi, and they have been proven to work. So luckily, you won't have to go to Amazon, buy 60 of them, and then just find out which one works. Yeah. But it seems pretty self-explanatory and very easy to do. And I would suggest checking that out first of all, and then after that, maybe look into access points if you can't get it to work. But there's some pretty inexpensive access points. For example, I've bought one on Amazon.com. It's called the Hootoo. I know, Hootoo, I believe.
Well, that's an
Hootoo.
Access point and a battery and a bar of soap. And
so it's definitely the way to go if you want to spend more money for an access point that's made to be an access point. But if you want to mod your Raspberry Pi, go for it and let us know how it works out for you.
Yeah, I'll also add that make sure you're ready for any professional fallout you might have for creating your own Wi-Fi hotspot. Some places won't care that you're making their hardwired network all public. Other places will freak out. Odds are they won't, but just make sure you've got your WPA on with a good password. Excuse me, WP. Let me say that clearly. WPA. WPA2 with a good password so they at least know you care.
That's funny.
Well, when
it's true though. It's true.
I've run into people like, yeah, $7 million a year in security budgets wiped out by one guy with a $60 home router who didn't turn on any security, and I'm just like, sorry.
Oh, that's
like, tell people to not do that, so I still do that.
And we also got a couple of answers from some of our viewers. First off was Don Jenkins, who has some help for the viewer looking to play 4K HEVC video. He says, so I did some testing and found that the Amazon Fire TV, this Gen 2 4K with Kodi worked great. Now I don't have my 4K TV yet. I want the 2016 LG OLED. Yeah, me too. So Kodi down converts the video to 1080p. It looks great, and I can't wait for HDR 4K TV to try this on. From Don. That's cool.
Yeah, you may want to check with Robert about the colors on those LG OLEDs.
Oh, should I?
You should.
Okay.
Junk Diaz, longtime viewer. I miss HD Nation. I have a suggestion. I went with, after a lot of research on the matter, I have a Pi 3 running Kodi, and presently it cannot handle X265 in a manner that is usable. Maybe in time with efficiency boost, you'll be able to build a Kodi box on a Pi 3 that can, but right now it's just not a great solution. I did, however, find a great product that can handle every file I've thrown at it so far, X265 included. It's Nvidia's Shield TV. Not cheap, although the price has dropped slightly to $179 since I purchased it. Splurge for their awesome remote. Trust me, it's amazing. And you'll have an Android device. It's very easy to install Kodi on and very easy to navigate. Boot up, add the Kodi app, and you're good to go. And of course, you get all of the really, really cool Android game streaming. I love the Nvidia Shield box. I didn't use it as much as I thought it would, and $200
Really?
is a lot of money for a streaming box.
Yeah, it is kind of pricey.
It's stupid powerful. The gaming, I found there just aren't a lot of Android applications for it. Android TV is like a minor subset of the Google
Well,
Play
to be
Store.
completely honest, all I use for on my TV is, I don't know, TV. I watch shows, that's it. I watch TV.
And you don't have 4K.
I don't have 4K.
So what do you need H.265 for? Oh goodness. Thanks, Junk D.
Yes, thank you so much, Junk D. And remember, once in a while, you want to put down your phone, you want to step away from the screen and close your laptop, and do something analog, like buy new shoes. For example, I bought new shoes this weekend.
Spadrills.
They might smell a little bit, sorry about that.
It's okay. We don't have smell-o-vision.
Go shopping!
Oh my goodness. There's another, I like.
And use coupons while you shop.
I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Shannon Morse.
We'll see you next week on TekThing. I've happily spent $300 on a pair of boots.
Have you? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. I've spent a pretty penny on like real leather boots.
Or even
Like
just like a really
cowboy
really nice pair of
boots.
hikers.
Yeah. Those are, you get quite a bit of mileage out of some good boots. These were like $20.
They're seasonal.
Coupons!
Seasonal summer disposable shoes. coming
What are
up
your
on
favorite
TekThing.
shoes? Tell us about your favorite shoes. Oh my God, shoes. Have you ever heard that song? Shoes. Shoes.
Now I'm just thinking about like,
Shoes.
the Kingsman pros,
Oh my
not
gosh,
Oxford.
shoes. Let's get some shoes. Let's get some shoes. Let's get some shoes. These shoes rule. These shoes suck. These shoes rule.
I love the fact that you've memorized
These
this.
shoes suck. Shoes. Shoes. Not bad.
No! But I'm not going to stop laughing anytime soon.
Google it. It's on YouTube. It's the best thing ever.